Well, in the first of our major series of election interviews, I'm delighted to be joined by Labour's Secretary of State for Communities and Local Government, who is, of course, John Denham. John, thank you very much indeed for joining us today.
Thank you.
Now, John, if you were to be re-elected, what would your priorities be for communities and local government?
Probably the biggest single challenge is to take forward what your viewers will know as the total place revolution that we pioneered last year. That's looking at local public services, looking at all the money that's spent, say, on children or on older people or on young offenders across the different services, and saying, how do we make the best use of that money? And to do that, we have to free up local services, whether it's local government or health, from some of the targets and the ring fencing they've had in the past, and enable them to work together. And I think crucially, with elected local councils being at the centre of that process, and with the ability to bring people together and make people work together effectively. That's the way that we can deliver real improvements in the quality of services, because they'll be more personal, they'll be designed around the needs of individuals, there'll be less bureaucracy, less gaps between services. While doing that, when we of course know that money is not going to increase at the rate that it has done in recent years.
So, John, our viewers have sent in some questions, so I'll put them to you if I could. First one is this: if Labour comes back into power, are you committed to continuing with the Unitary Authority programme?
We haven't got any proposals at the moment to launch a new round of local government reorganisation. Obviously, the system enables people to put forward proposals. I think that the emphasis in the next few years is going to be quite strongly on making whatever structures people are working with at the moment more efficient. So I'm sure you're going to see more district councils sharing chief executives, back office services, things of that sort, and indeed shared services between district and top tier authorities.
Now, John, the second question from our viewers is personalisation of social care, which is something you brought in. Now, how are you going to pay to develop that further?
Well, the reality about personalisation is that it's about using the money that's in the system in ways that meet the needs of individuals. And instead of saying, we have decided what you're going to get, this is it, you say, here's the resource, let's make it work in your favour. And I think we can just continue to use that money more effectively than we have done in the past. If you can bring services together, you can make them more efficient, you can avoid duplications of assessment, you can avoid the bureaucratic nightmares that can still be in the system at the moment where services don't work together, and that will enable the services to be more personal. That can mean whether you are buying a service with your own budget, which is one model of social care, or whether you're talking about parents having the legal rights that Labour is promising, but the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats aren't, for example, to one-to-one education for your child if they slip behind.
So the next question is on public sector cuts. The media is full of plans to cut public sector spending, and people are very worried about not only their pay and their spending power, but specifically about their pensions. What do you say to that?
I think that people are right to be worried about the prospect of either the Conservatives or the Liberal Democrats getting control over local government pensions, because leaders of both have made it clear that they want a wholehearted attack on public service pensions. Labour is actually very clear. We set out in the pre-budget report some savings from public service pension schemes. As far as local government is concerned, those are only the savings that have already been discussed and agreed with the unions and with people running the local government pension scheme. So people can vote Labour in this election knowing that with us their local government pension scheme is secure.
John, thank you very much indeed for joining us today on the Local Government Channel.
Thank you.